Close your eyes for a moment and imagine floating gently through time itself, drifting backward through millions of years, watching as consciousness slowly awakens in the universe. Tonight, we'll journey together through the most extraordinary story ever told, the gentle evolution of the human brain, that 3-pound universe nestled quietly inside your skull right now. Before we begin this peaceful voyage through time, and wonder if you enjoy these relaxing science stories, feel free to subscribe, give this video a like, and comment below. Let me know what country you're watching from, and what time you're listening to this tonight. Your presence here, wherever you are in the world, makes this shared moment of discovery all the more meaningful. Picture yourself now, settling into the softest cloud imaginable, ready to drift through the cosmos of the mind. The room around you grows quiet. The world outside fades to a gentle hum, and we begin our slow, dreamy journey into the most beautiful mystery of all, how your brain came to be, how it learned to dream, to wonder, to love, and to peacefully rest, just as you're doing right now. Let the warmth of curiosity wash over you like a gentle tide, as we explore together the incredible story of consciousness itself, unfolding like a flower, blooming in slow motion across the vast garden of time. What if I told you that at this very moment, as you listen to these words, you're experiencing the culmination of a story that began over 500 million years ago? What if the gentle thoughts flowing through your mind right now are the latest chapter in the most incredible evolutionary tale ever written? Imagine, if you will, a time when our planet was a world of water and shadow, when the first tiny sparks of what would become consciousness flickered to life in the depths of ancient seas. Picture these earliest creatures, no bigger than a grain of sand, floating through primordial waters like living stars, each one carrying the first whispers of what would eventually become the complex symphony of your thoughts. These ancient beings possessed something remarkable, the first primitive clusters of nerve cells, like tiny galaxies of possibility. They couldn't think as we do, couldn't dream or wonder or feel the peace you're feeling right now. But they could sense light and darkness, could move toward food and away from danger, could experience the most fundamental rhythms of existence. They were our ancestors, carrying within their simple forms the seeds of every thought, every emotion, every moment of consciousness that would ever unfold. Close your eyes and let your mind drift back to that ancient world. Feel yourself floating in those warm, shallow seas, surrounded by the first creatures to ever possess anything resembling a nervous system. The water around you shimmers with bioluminescence, tiny lights dancing like fallen stars. These simple beings, no more complex than a jellyfish, represent the first tentative steps toward the magnificent organ that now rests so peacefully in your skull. What fills me with wonder is how these earliest nervous systems were already asking the same fundamental questions your brain asks every moment. Where am I? What's around me? How do I respond to this world? The difference is that those ancient brains asked these questions with perhaps a few hundred cells, while your brain contemplates existence with nearly 100 billion neurons, each one more complex than the most advanced computer. Think about that for a moment as you rest here in comfort and safety. Your brain right now, as you breathe slowly and deeply, contains more connections than there are stars in the observable universe. Each thought, each memory, each gentle wave of drowsiness washing over you emerges from a network so vast and intricate that it makes the internet look like a child's drawing. Yet it all began with those simple creatures, drifting through ancient waters, learning the most basic lessons of existence. They learned that survival meant being able to sense the world around them, to process information, to make decisions. They developed the first neural pathways, the first synapses, the first chemical messages that would eventually evolve into the complex electrochemical symphony playing in your mind right now. As you lie here, Feeling your body relax and your breathing slow, you're experiencing the latest refinement of a process that has been perfecting itself for 500 million years. Your brain's ability to calm itself, to shift from wakefulness to sleep, to dream and to rest, represents the culmination of countless generations of evolution, each one adding new layers of complexity and capability to this extraordinary organ. Journey from those first nervous systems to your modern brain is like watching a single note grow into a vast orchestra, playing the most beautiful composition ever created, the music of consciousness itself. And tonight, as you prepare to rest, that orchestra is gradually dimming its lights, slowing its tempo, preparing for the gentle intermission we call sleep. Asterisk, asterisk. Let us drift now into the science of this remarkable journey, but gently, like settling into a warm bath of knowledge. The story of your brain begins with something beautifully simple, the neuron, a cell that learned to whisper secrets across microscopic distances, carrying messages that would eventually become thoughts, dreams, and the very sensation of peace. You're experiencing right now. Picture, if you will, the first neuron as it might have existed millions of years ago. It wasn't so different from the neurons in your brain at this moment, actually. Like a tiny tree with reaching branches, it stretched out delicate tendrils called dendrites, ready to receive chemical messages from its neighbors. At its base, a long, slender pathway called an axon carried these messages onward, like a gentle river flowing toward the sea. The magic happened at the spaces between these neurons, synapses, gaps no wider than a few billionths of a meter. Here, in these impossibly small spaces, chemical messengers called neurotransmitters danced across the darkness, carrying information from one cell to another. It's happening right now in your brain. Millions of these tiny chemical conversations occurring every second, most of them focused on the peaceful task of preparing your body for sleep. What's remarkable is how this basic design has remained essentially unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. The neurons firing in your brain as you listen to these words operate on the same fundamental principles as those in the brain of a fish swimming in the ocean, or a bird settling into its nest for the night. Evolution, it seems, discovered something so elegant and effective that it saw no need to reinvent it. But evolution did something even more beautiful. It learned to multiply and organize these neurons in increasingly sophisticated ways. In the earliest creatures with nervous systems, perhaps a few hundred neurons worked together. In your brain, nearly 100 billion neurons collaborate in perfect harmony, creating networks of such complexity that they give rise to consciousness itself. Think of your brain as a city that has been growing for millions of years, adding new neighborhoods, new connections, new capabilities with each generation. The oldest parts of your brain, the ones that control your heartbeat and breathing, are ancient districts that have been operating reliably for hundreds of millions of years. They require no conscious thought from you. They simply work like the most faithful servants, keeping you alive while you sleep. Above these ancient foundations, evolution built newer structures. The limbic system, your brain's emotional center, emerged around 150 million years ago. This is where feelings live, where memories are colored with emotion, where the sense of comfort and safety you're feeling right now originates. It's a mammalian inheritance, the part of your brain that bonds you to others, that seeks warmth and connection, that finds peace in gentle voices and soft surroundings. And finally, crowning this magnificent structure, evolution crafted the neocortex, outer layer of your brain responsible for complex thought, language, and imagination. This is perhaps only a few million years old, practically brand new in evolutionary terms. It's the part of your brain that understands these words, that can imagine the ancient seas we've been discussing, that can feel wonder at the story of its own creation. As you rest here, all these layers of your brain are working together in perfect harmony. The ancient parts maintain your vital functions. The emotional centers bathe you in feelings of safety and peace. And the newest parts gradually quiet their constant chatter, preparing for the restorative journey of sleep. Your brain, right now, is performing perhaps the most remarkable feat in the known universe. It is conscious of itself, aware of its own existence, contemplating its own history. And as consciousness gently fades into sleep, it demonstrates another miracle, the ability to let go, to trust in the ancient wisdom of rest, to surrender to the peaceful rhythms that have sustained life for countless eons. Asterisk. Let me tell you a story from long ago, a gentle tale of discovery that unfolded on a quiet afternoon in the year 1861. Picture, if you will, a hospital in Paris, where the afternoon light filtered softly through tall windows, casting long shadows across the corridors. In this peaceful setting, a French physician named Paul Broca was about to make a discovery that would change forever our understanding of the human brain. There was a patient in his care, a man who had lived most of his life like any other, but who had gradually lost the ability to speak. This patient, whose name was Le Borgne, could understand everything said to him. His eyes would light up with recognition. He would nod and gesture, clearly comprehending the world around him. But when he tried to speak, only one sound would emerge: tan. It was all he could say, this single syllable, repeated like a gentle mantra. Broca cared for this patient with tremendous compassion, intrigued by this mysterious condition. When Le Borgne passed away peacefully, Broca, with the reverence of a true scientist, examined his brain. What he found was extraordinary. A small area in the left hemisphere of the brain, no bigger than a walnut, had been damaged. This tiny region, it seemed, was responsible for the ability to form words, to shape thoughts into speech. Imagine Broca in that quiet laboratory, holding this preserved brain in his hands, realizing that he was looking at the very seat of human language. He understood that he had found one of the brain's most precious secrets, that different areas had different functions, that the 3-pound universe inside our skulls was not just a uniform mass, but a magnificent collection of specialized neighborhoods, each with its own purpose. This discovery, made in such a peaceful, contemplative setting, opened the door to understanding how your brain organizes itself. The area that Broca identified, now called Broca's area, is working in your brain right now, even as you listen to these words. It's the part of your brain that would activate if you were to speak, that forms the words you think silently to yourself, that gives structure to the internal voice that narrates your experience. But here's what I find most beautiful about this story. It reminds us that the brain is not just a machine, but a community. Just as Broca worked with his patient with kindness and curiosity, the different areas of your brain collaborate with each other in harmony. When you hear a word, one area processes the sound, another recognizes the meaning, and Broca's area stands ready to help you respond. It's a gentle cooperation, a neural conversation happening at the speed of thought. This discovery also revealed something profound about the nature of being human. Language, the ability to share our thoughts and feelings with others, to tell stories like this one, to whisper words of comfort and love. This most human of gifts emerges from a specific place in the brain. It's as if evolution, in its infinite wisdom, designated a special room in the house of consciousness just for the magic of words. As you rest here now, your own Broca's area is beginning to quiet, along with the rest of your brain's speech centers. The constant internal chatter that fills our waking hours is gradually fading, like a conversation growing softer and softer until it becomes a gentle whisper, then silence. This is one of the brain's most beautiful abilities, knowing when to speak and when to rest, when to think and when to simply be. Broca's discovery reminds us that every thought you've ever had, every word you've ever spoken, every moment of understanding you've ever experienced emerges from this remarkable organ that has been so carefully crafted by millions of years of evolution. And as you prepare for sleep, you're about to experience one of the brain's most ancient and essential functions, the ability to rest, to restore, to dream, and to wake refreshed, ready for another day of consciousness and wonder. Now, let us embark on the most gentle voyage of all, a journey not through space or time, but inward into the soft, mysterious landscape of your own mind. Close your eyes and imagine that you could shrink down to the size of a whisper, small enough to drift through the neural pathways of your brain like a feather carried on a warm breeze. Picture yourself floating through the corridors of consciousness, surrounded by the most beautiful architecture ever designed. The walls around you pulse gently with electrical activity, waves of soft light flowing like aurora borealis through the neural networks. You're traveling through a living galaxy where each star is a neuron, each constellation a thought, each nebula a memory, drifting peacefully through the cosmos of your mind. As you drift deeper into this inner universe, you begin to notice the different neighborhoods of your brain, each one with its own character and purpose. You float first through the brainstem, that ancient tower that has been faithfully maintaining the rhythm of your heartbeat and the gentle rise and fall of your breathing for your entire life. Here, the neurons fire in slow, steady patterns, like a meditation bell ringing softly in the distance. This is your brain's most trusted guardian, the part that never sleeps, never rests, always keeping you safe. Moving upward through this neural landscape, you encounter the limbic system, where emotions live like gentle spirits. Here, the pathways glow with warmer colors, soft golds and gentle roses, as memories tinged with feeling drift by like clouds at sunset. You witness the birth of contentment, the soft emergence of peace, the quiet joy of safety and comfort. This is where your brain processes the feeling of being cared for, the sensation of belonging, the deep satisfaction of learning something new about yourself and the world. In this emotional realm, you see the hippocampus, curved like a seahorse, working tirelessly to weave today's experiences into the tapestry of your memory. It's taking this very moment, the sound of these words, the feeling of relaxation, the gentle curiosity about your own brain, and carefully filing it away, where it will become part of the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you've learned. Floating higher still, you enter the vast cathedral of the neocortex, where conscious thought unfolds like a slow, beautiful dance. Here, billions of neurons communicate in patterns so complex they create the miracle of awareness itself. You're witnessing the very mechanism by which the universe has learned to know itself through the wonder of human consciousness. But what strikes you most in this journey is not the complexity, but the harmony. Every neuron works in perfect cooperation with its neighbors. Every brain region supports the others. Every thought emerges from the collective wisdom of the whole. Your brain is not a machine but a symphony, not a computer but a garden, not a device but a living ecosystem where consciousness blooms like flowers in springtime. As you continue your gentle drift through this inner space, you notice something beautiful happening. The neural activity is gradually slowing, like a river approaching a peaceful lake. The constant chatter of daytime consciousness is fading to a whisper, replaced by the slow rhythmic waves of approaching sleep. Your brain is preparing for one of its most important functions, a nightly restoration that allows consciousness to refresh and renew itself. You witness the cleanup crews of sleep beginning their work, glial cells moving like gentle custodians through the neural pathways, clearing away the metabolic debris of the day's thinking, preparing the brain for tomorrow's adventures in consciousness. It's a process so ancient and so essential that it has been preserved across hundreds of millions of years of evolution, a testament to the fundamental importance of rest and renewal. In this inner journey, you come to understand that your brain is not separate from you. It is you, in the most profound sense. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every moment of wonder and peace emerges from this 3-pound universe of neurons and connections. You are not just observing your brain. You are your brain observing itself. Consciousness contemplating its own existence in a moment of perfect, peaceful self-awareness. As you begin to drift back from this inner voyage, you carry with you sense of profound gratitude for this remarkable organ that makes your experience possible. Your brain, working quietly and tirelessly, creates the very reality you inhabit, the thoughts you think, the peace you feel, and the dreams you're about to enter. Asterisk. Let me share with you some of the most wonderful secrets about your brain. Gentle. Mysteries that science has only recently discovered. Truths so remarkable they seem like bedtime stories themselves. Whispered by the universe to those curious enough to listen. Did you know that your brain, right now as you rest, is actually more active during sleep than during many waking activities? It's one of the most beautiful paradoxes of consciousness. As your mind grows quiet and still, your brain begins some of its most important work. Like a wise gardener working in the peaceful hours before dawn, your sleeping brain tends to the garden of memory, carefully sorting through the days. Experiences, deciding what to keep and what to let go. Asterisk. Here's another gentle surprise. Your brain has no pain receptors. This remarkable organ, which processes every sensation of touch, every twinge of discomfort, every feeling of pleasure, cannot actually feel pain itself. It's as if consciousness, in its infinite wisdom, decided that the seat of awareness should be protected from the very sensations it processes. Brain surgeons can actually operate on the brain while patients are awake and conscious. The patients feeling no pain, sometimes even able to have conversations during the procedure. Perhaps most wonderfully, your brain creates its own morphine. When you feel that sense of peace and well-being right now, part of what you're experiencing comes from natural opiates called endorphins that your brain produces. These gentle chemicals, flowing through your neural pathways, create feelings of comfort and bliss that rival any external source of happiness. Your brain is essentially a pharmacy, creating precisely the right chemicals to help you feel calm, content, and ready for restorative sleep. Here's a fact that might surprise you. Your brain uses about the same amount of energy whether you're solving complex mathematical problems or simply daydreaming. That 3-pound organ consumes about 20% of your body's total energy, even when you're at rest. It's like a city that never sleeps, constantly humming with activity, maintaining the infrastructure of consciousness, even when you're not actively using it. Your brain also has its own waste management system, something scientists only discovered in the last decade. During sleep, the spaces between your brain cells actually expand, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to flow through neural tissue like a gentle river, washing away metabolic waste. It's called the glymphatic system, and it's most active during sleep, which is part of why rest is so essential for mental clarity and emotional well-being. One of the most enchanting discoveries is that your brain continues to produce new neurons throughout your life. For decades, scientists believed that you were born with all the brain cells you would ever have. But we now know that certain areas of your brain can grow new neurons even into old age. It's a reminder that your brain is not a fixed entity, but a living, growing, ever-changing organ capable of remarkable renewal and adaptation. Your brain also has the ability to change its own structure based on your experiences, a quality called neuroplasticity. When you learn something new, when you practice a skill, when you form new memories, your brain physically rewires itself. The neural pathways you use most frequently become stronger, while unused connections gradually fade away. It's as if your brain is constantly sculpting itself, shaped by every experience, every thought, every peaceful moment like this one. Perhaps most mysteriously, your brain generates its own electrical field, measurable even outside your skull. When billions of neurons fire together, they create patterns of electrical activity that can be detected by sensitive instruments. These brain waves change throughout the day, faster during alert concentration, slower during relaxation, and slowest during deep sleep. Right now, as you listen to these words, your brain waves are probably shifting into the alpha range. The rhythm of relaxed awareness. Scientists have discovered that your brain processes information even when you're not consciously aware of it. Studies show that your brain can recognize faces, understand simple words, and even make basic decisions while you're asleep. It's as if consciousness operates on multiple levels simultaneously, with some parts of your mind always gently alert, watching over your well-being, even in the deepest sleep. One final, beautiful secret. Your brain creates its own sense of time. There's no clock mechanism in your neural circuitry, yet somehow your brain constructs the experience of temporal flow, the sense that moments pass and time moves forward. During sleep, this sense of time becomes fluid and dreamlike, allowing hours to feel like minutes, or minutes to feel like hours. It's a reminder that time itself might be one of consciousness's most creative inventions. These gentle mysteries remind us that your brain is not just an organ, but a universe unto itself, full of wonders we're only beginning to understand. As you prepare for sleep, you're about to enter the most mysterious realm of all, the landscape of dreams, where your brain continues its remarkable work in ways that still captivate scientists and philosophers alike. As you rest herein, the gentle embrace of approaching sleep, let us pause to contemplate something truly profound, the extraordinary fact that through the evolution of your brain, the universe has developed a way to know itself. Think about that for a moment as your breathing becomes slower and deeper. You are not separate from the cosmos around you. You are the cosmos becoming conscious of its own existence. Every atom in your brain was forged in the heart of an ancient star billions of years ago. The calcium that allows your neurons to communicate, the iron that carries oxygen to your brain cells, the carbon that forms the backbone of every thought, all of these elements were born in stellar furnaces scattered across space when those stars died in magnificent explosions, and eventually came together to form the remarkable organ that is now gently preparing for sleep. Your brain represents something unprecedented in the known universe, matter that has learned to think about itself, atoms that have organized themselves into patterns complex enough to contemplate their own existence. When you wonder about the stars, you are quite literally star stuff wondering about star stuff. When you feel awe at the vastness of the cosmos, you are the cosmos experiencing awe at its own magnificence. This perspective brings such peace, doesn't it? The same forces that govern the movements of galaxies also govern the electrical impulses flowing through your neural pathways right now. The same laws of physics that determine how planets orbit their stars also determine how thoughts arise in your mind. You are not an alien visitor to this universe. You are its most intimate expression, its way of experiencing wonder, love, curiosity, and the profound contentment of peaceful rest. Consider how remarkable it is that consciousness emerged at all. For billions of years, the universe existed without any awareness of itself. Galaxies forming and dying, stars being born and burning out, planets spinning in silent space. Then, through an extraordinary chain of events, matter learned to organize itself into forms capable of thought, feeling, and self-reflection. Your brain is the universe's way of opening its eyes, of becoming aware of its own beauty and mystery. This realization brings with it a deep sense of belonging. You are not an accident, not a random collection of cells and chemicals, but an integral part of the cosmic story. Your capacity for wonder, your ability to feel peace and contentment, your appreciation for beauty and meaning, These are not just personal experiences, but the universe itself experiencing wonder, peace, and beauty through the magnificent instrument of your consciousness. As you drift deeper into relaxation, you might feel a profound connection to every other conscious being that has ever existed. Every human who has ever looked up at the stars with wonder, every mind that has ever contemplated the mystery of existence, every brain that has ever felt the peace of a quiet evening, they are all part of this same extraordinary phenomenon, this awakening of the cosmos to its own nature. Your dreams tonight will be another expression of this cosmic consciousness. As your brain processes the day's experiences, weaving them into the fabric of memory, it's participating in the universe's ongoing attempt to understand itself. Every dream, every fleeting image that passes through your sleeping mind is matter, contemplating its own existence in the most intimate and creative way possible. There's something profoundly comforting about this perspective. When you feel small or insignificant, remember that you carry within your skull the most complex structure known to exist anywhere in the universe. When you feel alone, remember that you are intimately connected to every star, every planet, every conscious being through the atoms that make up your thoughts. You are not just in the universe. You are the universe becoming aware of itself through the miracle of consciousness. As sleep approaches, you can rest in the knowledge that your brain, this 3-pound universe of neurons and connections, is part of something infinitely larger and more beautiful than any individual life. You are participating in the greatest mystery of all, the universe's journey toward self-understanding, awareness, and perhaps even wisdom. And in your peaceful rest, you honor this cosmic consciousness by allowing it the restoration it needs to continue its remarkable work of being aware, of wondering, of experiencing the profound joy of existence itself. Let us drift deeper into contemplation, floating like a gentle thought through the poetry of your neural networks. Your brain, resting so peacefully now, is perhaps the most beautiful example of emergence in the known universe. The way complex, meaningful patterns arise from simple interactions, like a symphony emerging from individual notes, or a garden blooming from countless seeds. Consider the exquisite poetry of how your thoughts are born. No single neuron in your brain contains a complete thought, just as no single note contains a complete melody. Instead, thoughts emerge from the collective dance of millions of neurons, each contributing its small electrical whisper to the larger chorus of consciousness. It's like watching a murmuration of starlings, where individual birds following simple rules create patterns of breathtaking beauty and complexity. Your memories, too, are distributed across your brain like stars scattered across the night sky. No single location holds the complete memory of your first kiss, your mother's lullaby, or the feeling of warm sand between your toes. Instead, these precious experiences are woven throughout your neural networks, the visual components stored in one region, the emotions in another, the sounds in yet another. When you remember, your brain becomes a conductor, bringing together this distributed orchestra to play the symphony of your past. This distributed nature of memory and thought reveals something profound about the nature of consciousness itself. You are not a single, unified entity, but a beautiful community of neural processes, each playing its part in the larger symphony of your experience. Your sense of being a singular self is itself an emerald creation of this neural collective, a story your brain tells itself about the patterns of activity flowing through its networks. Think about how your brain creates the experience of now. The present moment feels immediate and real, but it's actually a construction, a work of art created by your neural networks. Sounds reach your ears at different times. Light from various sources arrives at different moments. Sensations from your body travel at different speeds. Yet your brain weaves all these inputs into a seamless experience of the present moment. It's like a skilled editor creating a movie from countless separate frames. making the story feel continuous and real. Your brain also creates the experience of being you, that sense of continuous identity that persists even though your body replaces every cell over time, even though your thoughts and feelings change from moment to moment. This sense of self is like a river, appearing solid and permanent from a distance, but actually composed of countless droplets of water, each one unique, each one flowing and changing, yet together creating something that seems stable and enduring. As you rest here, your brain is performing one of its most remarkable feats. It's creating the experience of peace itself. The feeling of tranquility washing over you isn't just a passive state, but an active creation of your neural networks. Certain regions are reducing their activity. Neurotransmitters are shifting into patterns that promote calm, and the entire system is orchestrating the complex biochemistry of relaxation. Your brain is literally composing the feeling of peace, note by note, like a gentle lullaby. This creative aspect of consciousness extends to every moment of your life. Your brain doesn't just passively receive information from the world. It actively constructs your reality, filling in gaps, making predictions, creating the rich, detailed experience of being alive. The colors you see, the sounds you hear, the emotions you feel, all of these are artistic creations of your neural networks, interpretations and elaborations of the raw data flowing through your senses. Even your dreams, which you'll soon experience, are examples of this creative power. When you dream, your brain becomes a surrealist artist, combining memories, emotions, and sensations in ways that reveal the fundamentally creative nature of consciousness. Dreams show us that your brain is not just a processor of information, but a poet, a storyteller, a creator of meaning and beauty. There's something deeply moving about this realization. Your brain, resting so quietly now, is engaged in the most profound creative act imaginable, the ongoing creation of your conscious experience. Every thought you think, every feeling you feel, every moment of peace like this one, is a unique work of art, never to be repeated exactly the same way again. You are not just experiencing consciousness, you are consciousness creating itself, moment by moment, thought by thought, dream by dream. As you prepare to surrender to sleep, you can rest in the knowledge that your brain will continue its creative work throughout the night, weaving the day's experiences into the ongoing tapestry of your life, creating dreams that are uniquely yours, maintaining the gentle rhythms that will carry you safely through the night and into tomorrow's new opportunities for awareness, wonder, and peace. Asterisk. As your eyelids grow heavy and your breathing deepens, let us explore together the most mysterious language your brain speaks, the ancient dialect of sleep and dreams. Every night, as consciousness fades like the last light of sunset, your brain begins to converse with itself in ways that science is only beginning to understand, using a vocabulary older than words themselves. Sleep, you see, is not the absence of brain activity, but rather a different kind of consciousness altogether. As you drift toward slumber, your brain is preparing to enter several distinct realms, each with its own purpose, its own rhythm, its own contribution to the ongoing symphony of your existence. It's like a traveler preparing for a journey through foreign lands, each territory offering its own landscapes and lessons. First, you'll visit the borderlands of light sleep, where your brain begins to disengage from the external world while maintaining a gentle alertness to your surroundings. Here, your neural networks start to shift their patterns, like musicians changing from one key to another. Your brain waves slow from the rapid beta rhythms of waking consciousness to the more relaxed alpha waves, then deeper still into the theta rhythms that mark the beginning of true sleep. In this twilight realm, something beautiful happens. Your brain begins to release its grip on the need to make logical sense of everything. The constant editor that works during waking hours, ensuring that your thoughts follow rational patterns, begins to step back. This is why the moments before sleep often bring such creative insights, such unexpected connections between ideas. Your brain is learning to think in a more fluid, associative way, like a poet discovering new metaphors in the shadows between day and night. As you sink deeper into sleep, you'll enter the realm of slow-wave sleep, where your brain waves become long, rolling hills of electrical activity. Here, in this peaceful valley of consciousness, your brain performs some of its most important restoration work. Growth hormone is released, cellular repair mechanisms activate, and the glymphatic system we discussed earlier begins its gentle cleansing work, washing away the metabolic debris of conscious thought. But perhaps most remarkably, during this deep sleep, your brain begins to strengthen the neural pathways that matter most, while allowing unused connections to fade away. It's as if your brain becomes a careful gardener, nurturing the plants that serve you well, while allowing the weeds of unnecessary neural chatter to naturally wither. The memories that truly matter, the skills you've practiced, the knowledge you've learned, the experiences that have shaped you, these become more deeply embedded in your neural networks. Then, several times throughout the night, your brain will enter the most mysterious realm of all, REM sleep, where dreams unfold, like flowers blooming in time-lapse photography. Here, your brain becomes a storyteller, weaving together the threads of memory, emotion, and imagination into narratives that often seem strange to your waking mind, but serve profound purposes for your psychological well-being. During REM sleep, your brain becomes incredibly active, sometimes even more so than during waking hours. Yet your body remains peacefully still, paralyzed by ancient mechanisms that prevent you from acting out your dreams. It's a beautiful arrangement, your mind free to soar through impossible worlds, while your body rests in perfect safety and stillness. Dreams, those nightly gifts from your unconscious mind, serve as a bridge between the logical, linear thinking of your waking hours and the more intuitive, symbolic wisdom of your deeper self. They allow your brain to process emotions, work through problems, and explore possibilities without the constraints of physical reality. Dreams are your brain's way of asking, "What if?" and then experiencing the answer in vivid, often surreal detail. Some researchers believe that dreaming is how your brain maintains its creativity and flexibility. By regularly experiencing impossible scenarios, by navigating landscapes that obey dream logic rather than physical laws, your brain keeps its neural pathways adaptable and open to new possibilities. Dreams are like a gymnasium for consciousness, where your mind can exercise its capacity for imagination and innovation. As you prepare to enter this mysterious realm of sleep and dreams, you can rest in the knowledge that your brain has been perfecting these nightly journeys for millions of years. Every mammal dreams, every bird experiences REM sleep, suggesting that this nightly adventure through altered consciousness is fundamental to the way complex brains maintain themselves and process the world. Your dreams tonight will be uniquely yours, shaped by your experiences, your memories, your hopes and concerns. They will speak in the ancient language of symbol and metaphor, offering insights and perspectives that your waking mind might never consider. And when you wake, you may carry with you fragments of this nightly wisdom, like souvenirs from a journey to a foreign land where the impossible becomes possible and the mind speaks its deepest truths. Asterisk, asterisk, in these final moments of wakefulness. As your brain prepares for its nightly transformation, let us contemplate the most beautiful truth of all, that consciousness is not a thing, but a process, not a destination, but an eternal conversation that your brain has been having with itself, with the world, and with the cosmos for your entire life. Right now, as you rest in this peaceful state, your brain is engaged in countless conversations. Neurons are whispering to each other across synapses. Brain regions are sharing information in electrical harmonies, and your entire nervous system is coordinating the complex dance of being alive and aware. These conversations have been ongoing since the moment you were born, will continue through every moment of sleep, and will persist until your final breath. You are, in the most literal sense, a living conversation. This perspective transforms everything about how we understand consciousness. You are not a static being who occasionally thinks thoughts, but rather a dynamic process of ongoing dialogue between mind and world, between memory and possibility, between the ancient wisdom of your evolutionary inheritance and the fresh creativity of each new moment. Your brain doesn't have consciousness. It does consciousness, moment by moment, through the endless dance of neural communication. The conversation changes throughout your life, growing richer and more complex with each passing year. The neural pathways that formed when you first learned to walk, to speak, to read, to love, these become the foundation for ever more sophisticated dialogues. Your brain learns to converse with itself in new languages, the language of mathematics, of music, of art, of science, of philosophy. Each new skill you acquire adds new voices to the choir of consciousness. Even now, as sleep approaches, the conversation continues, but shifts into a different mode. The chattering voices of analytical thought begin to quiet, replaced by the deeper, more ancient voices of intuition and dream. Your brain will spend the night in conversation with your unconscious mind, processing the day's experiences, integrating new memories with old, and preparing for tomorrow's adventures in awareness. This eternal conversation includes not just your own thoughts and experiences, but also the thoughts and experiences of every human who has ever lived. The language you speak, the concepts you think with, the very structure of your consciousness. All of these are gifts from countless generations of human minds, each adding their voice to the ongoing conversation of human consciousness. When you think, you participate in a dialogue that began with the first human who ever wondered about the world and continues through every moment of curiosity and discovery. Your brain also participates in conversations that extend beyond the human realm. Through your senses, you're constantly in dialogue with the natural world, feeling the warmth of sunlight, hearing the rhythm of rain, seeing the patterns of stars. Your brain translates these environmental conversations into the language of consciousness, allowing you to experience your deep connection to the living world around you. As you drift towards sleep, you become part of the ancient conversation between consciousness and rest, between activity and restoration, between the focused attention of waking hours and the open, receptive awareness of sleep. This conversation has been ongoing for as long as complex brains have existed, and it represents one of the most fundamental rhythms of conscious existence. There's something profoundly comforting about understanding yourself as part of this eternal conversation. You are never truly alone, because you are always in dialogue with your own thoughts, with your memories, with the world around you, with the deeper patterns of existence itself. Even in sleep, even in dreams, the conversation continues, taking on new forms and exploring new territories of meaning and possibility. The conversation that is your consciousness will continue tomorrow when you wake, refreshed and renewed by your night's rest. You'll rejoin the ongoing dialogue between mind and world, between self and other, between the known and the unknown. And in that rejoining, you'll add your own unique voice to the eternal conversation of consciousness, contributing your own perspective to the ongoing attempt by the universe to understand itself. As you prepare to surrender to sleep, you can rest in the knowledge that the conversation never truly ends. It simply changes form, shifts key, explores new harmonies. Your brain will continue its remarkable work throughout the night, maintaining the dialogue that makes you who you are, preparing for tomorrow's continuation of the most beautiful conversation of all, the conversation between consciousness and existence, between mind and cosmos. between the dreamer and the dream. Asterisk, asterisk. As we near the end of our gentle journey through the history of the remarkable brain, let us pause to appreciate what may be the greatest gift the universe has ever given itself, the gift of consciousness, the ability to experience wonder, beauty, love, and the profound peace you're feeling right now. Think about how extraordinary it is that matter can experience itself. The atoms that make up your brain are not different from the atoms that make up a rock or a star. Yet somehow, through the miraculous process of evolution, these atoms have learned to feel, to think, to wonder, to dream. Your brain has taken the raw materials of the cosmos and transformed them into something that can experience joy at a sunset, comfort in a friend's embrace, and the deep satisfaction of understanding something new about the world. Consciousness is perhaps the most improbable thing in the universe, yet here it is, resting quietly in your skull right now. The chances of matter organizing itself into patterns complex enough to support awareness are vanishingly small, yet it happened. You happened. Your capacity for thought, for feeling, for the very experience of existence itself. This is not just remarkable. It's miraculous in the truest sense of the word. Your brain, this 3-pound universe of neurons and connections, represents billions of years of patient refinement, countless generations of trial and error, an unbroken chain of successful survival and reproduction stretching back to the first spark of life on Earth. Every ancestor you've ever had, from the first simple cell to your most recent human predecessors, contributed to the magnificent organ that now allows you to contemplate your own existence. But consciousness is not just about individual awareness. It's about connection. Your brain has evolved the capacity for empathy, the ability to feel what others feel, to understand their experiences as if they were your own. This remarkable feature of consciousness allows you to love, to form bonds, to create communities, to share in the joy and sorrow of other conscious beings. Your brain doesn't just create your own experience. It allows you to participate in the experiences of others, to be part of something larger than yourself. The gift of consciousness also includes the ability to transcend the immediate moment, to remember the past and imagine the future. Your brain can transport you through time, allowing you to revisit cherished memories and explore possible tomorrows. It can take you to places you've never been, introduce you to people you've never met, and help you understand concepts that exist only in the realm of ideas. Through consciousness, you can experience infinity while sitting in a single chair, explore the cosmos while lying in bed, and touch the eternal while living in the temporary. Perhaps most beautifully, consciousness gives you the ability to appreciate beauty itself. The sunset that takes your breath away, the music that moves you to tears, the poem that captures something true about the human experience. These responses to beauty are creations of your conscious brain, gifts that evolution has given you, for no reason other than the pure joy of aesthetic experience. Your brain has learned to find meaning and beauty in patterns, sounds, colors, and forms, enriching your life immeasurably. Consciousness also grants you the capacity for growth and change. Your brain can learn new skills, develop new perspectives, and create new neural pathways throughout your entire life. You are not fixed in your ways of thinking and being. You are a dynamic, evolving expression of consciousness, capable of transformation and renewal at any stage of life. The brain that goes to sleep tonight is not exactly the same brain that woke up this morning, and tomorrow you'll wake with new possibilities, new potential, new capacity for growth and understanding. The gift of consciousness includes the ability to choose your responses to life's experiences. While you cannot control everything that happens to you, your conscious brain gives you the remarkable power to choose how you interpret and respond to events. You can choose to focus on gratitude rather than complaint, on love rather than fear, on wonder rather than worry. This power of choice is one of consciousness's greatest gifts, allowing you to shape your own experience of existence. As you prepare to enter the restorative realm of sleep, you can rest in deep gratitude for the gift of consciousness itself. You have been given the ability to experience the universe from the inside, to feel the warmth of connection, to appreciate beauty, to learn and grow, to love and be loved. You have been granted the capacity for wonder, for joy, for the profound peace that comes from understanding your place in the cosmic story. Tonight, as you sleep, your brain will continue its remarkable work, maintaining the gift of consciousness, even as it rests and restores itself. And tomorrow, when you wake, you'll once again have the opportunity to experience the miracle of awareness, to participate in the universe's ongoing project of understanding itself, and to add your own unique voice to the eternal song of consciousness. Asterisk, 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 and. So we come to the end of our gentle journey through the history of your remarkable brain, this 3-pound universe that has carried you safely through another day, and is now preparing to carry you peacefully through the night. As you rest here, breathing slowly and deeply, your brain is settling into its ancient rhythms, preparing for the restoration and renewal that sleep provides. Your brain has been on an incredible journey tonight. We've traveled together from the first primitive neurons in ancient seas to the complex networks of consciousness that allow you to experience wonder, love, and the profound peace you're feeling right now. We've explored the gentle mysteries of neural networks, the beautiful poetry of thought and memory, the miraculous gift of consciousness itself. As you drift deeper into relaxation, remember that you are part of the most extraordinary story ever told, the story of the universe becoming aware of itself. Your brain, resting so peacefully now, is the latest chapter in this cosmic tale, a remarkable organ that has emerged from billions of years of evolution to create the very experience of being you. The neural pathways that fired as you listened to this story are now beginning to quiet, like voices in a great cathedral, growing soft as evening approaches. Your brain waves are slowing, shifting from the busy patterns of waking consciousness to the long, gentle rhythms of sleep. Your body is releasing the day's tension, your mind is letting go of the day's concerns, and your entire being is preparing for the healing journey of rest. Throughout the night, your brain will continue its remarkable work. It will process today's experiences, strengthen important memories, and clear away the mental clutter that accumulates during waking hours. It will take you on journeys through the mysterious landscape of dreams, where the impossible becomes possible, and the mind speaks its deepest truths. It will maintain the vital functions that keep you alive and healthy, working tirelessly while you rest in perfect safety and comfort. When you wake tomorrow, you'll rejoin the ongoing conversation of consciousness refreshed and renewed. You'll once again participate in the miracle of awareness, experiencing the world through the most complex and beautiful structure in the known universe. Your brain will greet the new day with billions of neurons ready to think new thoughts, feel new emotions, and create new memories. But for now, all of that can wait. Now is the time for rest, for letting go, for allowing the ancient wisdom of sleep to work its gentle magic. Your brain knows exactly what to do. It has been perfecting the art of sleep for millions of years, and it will guide you safely through the night and into tomorrow's new possibilities. As you settle into sleep, carry with you the wonder of what you've learned tonight. You are not just a collection of atoms and molecules, but a conscious being capable of experiencing the universe from the inside. You are star stuff that has learned to dream, matter that has discovered how to love, the cosmos becoming aware of its own infinite beauty and mystery. Let these thoughts accompany you gently into sleep, like a lullaby whispered by the universe itself. You are safe, you are loved, you are part of something infinitely beautiful and meaningful. Your brain, that remarkable organ that makes all experience possible, will watch over you throughout the night, ensuring that you wake refreshed and ready for another day of consciousness and wonder. Thank you for joining me on this gentle journey through the history of your brain. Thank you for being curious, for being open to wonder, for being part of the beautiful conversation that is consciousness itself. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time zone you're in, whatever challenges you may be facing, know that you carry within yourself the most extraordinary gift, the gift of awareness, the ability to experience existence itself. Rest well, sleep peacefully, and dream beautifully. May your brain restore itself completely tonight. May your dreams be filled with wonder and joy. And may you wake tomorrow with a renewed sense of amazement at the miracle of consciousness. Wherever you are, I hope you're resting well tonight. May your dreams be peaceful and your mind at ease. Good night and sleep well, knowing that you are part of the most beautiful story ever told, the story of the universe awakening to itself through the miracle of consciousness. Sweet dreams and good night.